Happy Sunday to everyone. Once again, welcome to our morning Sunday worship. It's May 31, 2020. In spite of this pandemic, ay hindi po natin nakakalimutan na pasalamatan ang ating Panginoon at ipagpatuloy po ang ating pagtitipon-tipon even though it's online, but it's not a barrier for us to worship the Lord. Alam po ninyo, ang dami po natin natutunan sa pandemyang ito. Ang dami pong lesson na hindi po natin malilimutan habang buhay sa mahigit 2 buwan na pong naka-quarantine po tayo. Kahit na modified na po yung general community quarantine po natin, still keep safe, stay at home. Kung lalabas man tayo, kailangan mag-ingat po tayo. Because those lessons na napag-aralan po natin for the past more than 2 months ay siya po yung nagpatibay sa atin, sa ating personal na buhay, as a family, as a Christian, as an individual, ay alam ko po, merong nagbago sa buhay po natin. Ito po yung mas naging matatag tayo, mas napatibay natin ang ating pananampalataya, at naiayos po natin yung focus ng buhay ng bawat isa sa atin. May nabasa po ako sa Facebook at sabi niya, nung kasagsagan po ng enhanced community quarantine, halos lahat ng tao nananalangin, di ba? Halos lahat ng post patungkol po sa pananampalataya at paghingi ng saklolo sa ating Panginoon. Pero all the more, the longer the days that we are in the quarantine. At ito na nga, nandito na po yung iniintay po natin na medyo luluwag na po yung quarantine na yon. Sabi po niya sa comment niya na lumuwag na ang situation natin. Heto na naman, halos bumabalik na naman tayo sa regular na buhay po natin na nakakalimot na naman tayo sa ating Panginoon. Alam po ninyo, ito po yung lesson na hindi ko po malilimutan sa pandemyang ito. In our generation, in my lifetime, in my family's affair and life. Ito po ay naturuan po tayo upang i-focus po, i-fine-tune po natin yung relasyon po natin sa ating Panginoon. Ang natutunan ko po dito is to pursue a God-centered life. The lesson that I have learned on this pandemic is pursuing a God-centered life. A relationship that God is the center, that Jesus Christ is the center. A journey that has been forgotten in the past days, in the past years of my life, in our lives, na napabayaan po natin na dalhin ang ating Panginoon in the very center of our journey of our life. So ito po yung lesson na binigay po ng pandemyang ito. Pursuing a God-centered life. Bakit? Kasi natutunan po natin na growing and walking and staying closer to God every day. Out of fear that turns out to faith. Out of despair that turns out to hope. Out of hatred that turns out to love. That is pursuing a God-centered life. Being a Christian, we are called to center our life to God. So ito po yung lesson, the central idea of this pandemic na patuloy po nating hasain, patibayin at pushing a closer relationship to God. Diba? Ang dami ko pong napanood ng mga movies, ancient movies, mga historical movies, documentaries. At meron po akong nakita dito. In a recent film, A Self-Proclaimed Genius, yun po yung title niya, ran to the camera about the world's horror, corruption, ignorance, and poverty. Ganito po yung nangyayari sa mundo po natin. Yung self-proclaimed genius ng mga tao ranting into the stage of the world about horror, corruption, ignorance, and poverty na siya po yung rampant sa buhay po natin, sa generation po natin. Declaring life to be godless and absurd. Ito po yung thinking natin. It's unusual in our daily routines of life. Modern film, as self-proclaimed genius, yung script po niya ay nakafocus sa interest na naglilid po ng self-proclaiming genius. And at the end, yung mga character ng mga movies na to, tayo na nasa stage of life, ay ini-implore po niya na ang buhay po natin, it needs to take and find little happiness. So ito po yung past life po natin. We are content to find little happiness. Diba? But, ang dami pong compromising. Ang dami pong nababaliwala na importante. So, ito po siya. Now, facing our own despair of life, horrors, ignorance, poverty, corruption. Dapat i-focus po natin yung buhay po natin on centering into a commitment, into a faith, into a journey na God is the center. God is the center of our life. I want to use Ecclesiastes today. Ito po yung book na daming debate kung kasali ba siya sa Bible or hindi. Daming questions and daming doubts. Pero nailagay pa rin as canonized book in the Bible. Hindi po klaro kung sinong nagsulat. Pero Kohelet, some scholars says that Kohelet is parang ginamit ni Solomon na alias niya. Diba? Ginamit ni Solomon na parang pinantago niya ng tinatawag nating identity niya. Okay? Ginamit niya as a pseudonym ni Solomon, itong Kohelet ito. Pero, ang dami pong lesson na nakita po natin about Ecclesiastes. Kung babasahin po natin yung libro ng Ecclesiastes, it is a letter, a writing, na this Old Testament writer of Ecclesiastes gave it a try long time ago, searching for happiness through pleasure. Searching for happiness through wisdom and fully. Searching happiness through the result of toil. Pero at the end, nagkaroon siya ng assessment. Anong assessment? Sabi niya, everything that is happening, everything that is accomplished, everything that is something worthwhile into our hands, everything is meaningless. So ito po siya. Putting God as the center of our life is the meaning of our journey. May pandemya man or wala, happiness man tayo or having in trouble, we need to face life's greatest challenge and putting God in the center. Facing his own despairs at life's horror, the Old Testament writer of Ecclesiastes, sabi ko nga dito kanina, gave it a try long time ago, searching for happiness through pleasure. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verses 4 to 6, pleasures are meaningless, sabi niya. Pleasures are meaningless. Grand work projects, ang dami niyang grandiose work projects. Pero sabi niya in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 4 to 6, I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoir to water globes of flourishing trees. Ito po yung grandiose work niya. Pero nakita niya, pleasures are meaningless. In verses 7 to 9, riches. Sabi dito, I bought male and female slave and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned many herbs and flocks that anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself, and the treasure of kings and provinces. I acquired male and female singers, and a harem. as well. The delight of a man's heart. I become greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this wisdom, I stayed myself. Pleasures are meaningless. So makikita po natin na the writer of the Old Testament Ecclesiastes had gone long before na searching for happiness through pleasure. Pero sabi niya, pleasures are meaningless. Wisdom and folly are meaningless. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verses 12 to 16, sabi niya dito, then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom and also madness and folly. What more can the king's successor do than what has already be done? I saw the wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise have eyes in their heads, while the fool walks in the darkness. But I came to realize that same fate overtook them both. That I said to myself, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? I said to myself, this too is meaningless. For the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. The days have already come when both have been forgotten. Like the fool, the wise must too die. So wisdom and folly are meaningless to this writer. So hindi po nakikita na yung pleasure, na yung sabi natin grandest work, yung riches, yung wisdom, yung folly, ay yun po yung contentment ng life natin. Yun po yung center ng life natin. Because everything is meaningless. Di ba? Toils is meaningless. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verses 17 to 25, sabi niya, so I hated life because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. All of it is meaningless. So ito na po, all of it is meaningless. All work that is done under the sun is meaningless. So I hated all things. Sabi niya, I have toiled for under the sun because I must leave them to the one who comes after me. And who knows whether the person will be wise or foolish. Diba? In verse 20, so my heart began to despair over all my toilsome labor under the sun. For a person, my labor will with wisdom, knowledge, and skills, and they then must live all they own to another who has toiled not for it. Verse 24, sabi dito, a person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. Diba? This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without Him, who can eat or find enjoyment? So nakita po ni Kohelet, the writer of the Ecclesiastes, the toil is meaningless. Hindi po sentro ng buhay natin kung ano po yung narating ng trabaho po natin. Kung ikaw ba yung gumawa ng World Trade Center, ng Petronas Tower, ng Burj Khalifa, or any wonders of the world, ikaw yung gumawa, toil is meaningless. Your labor under the sun is meaningless. Sabi nga, this too is meaningless. Diba? In verse 21, this too is meaningless and a great misfortune. So hindi po sentro sa buhay po natin kung ano po yung naipundar natin sa mundong ito. Material things, toil, that grandeur of our effort. This too is meaningless and a great misfortune. And his assessment, the writer of Ecclesiastes, his assessment, sabi niya in chapter 5 verse 13 to 17, all of it is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. None of these things is immune to death, disaster, and injustice. So lahat ng mga bagay na nangyayari sa buhay po natin, come by fate or by fortune, alam po ninyo, all of this is meaningless, chasing after the wind. So wag po natin pagurin yung buhay po natin. Wag po natin pagurin yung life natin chasing all of these misfortunes. Diba? Our toil, our wisdom man or folly man yan, grandest work, riches. Dito po yung natutunan ko sa pandemya na to. If we are chasing grandiose work or project, di ba? Everything will be in vain. Riches. If we are chasing riches, if we are chasing wisdom, if we are toiling under the sun, the skills that we have under the sun, sabi ng writer ng Ecclesiastes si Kohelet, this too is meaningless. And his assessment, all of this is meaningless, chasing after the sun. None of this, ito po yung napakahalaga in chapter 5, verse 13 to 17, sabi niya, all of this, di ba? They are not immune to death. They are not immune to disaster. They are not immune to injustice. So, masisira lahat yan. Di ba? Kasi it will be laid despair, departed, at chasing under the sun. Verse 17, all their days they eat in darkness with great frustration, with affliction, and with anger. Alam po ninyo, na pagbabasahin po natin ng Ecclesiastes, the purpose of Ecclesiastes was to contend that there is nothing under the sun that is capable of giving meaning to life. Ito po yung lesson na nakita ko sa pandemyang ito. Under the sun, the writer of Ecclesiastes giving us to contend that there is nothing capable of giving meaning to life under the sun. Sa ilalim po ng araw, ng init siya, di ba? Nothing is capable of giving meaning to your life. Diba? So paglabas po natin after this pandemic, after this pandemic, hindi na po tayo confined sa four corners of our home. Diba? Are you still chasing for grandiose work, for riches, for wisdom or fool, for toil, showing the effort in your skills na makakagawa ka ng napakagandang bagay? Sabi niya, everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless under the sun. Sabi po dito, even if some level of fulfillment or self-satisfaction were achieved, death is waiting at the end. Ano man yung makukuha natin sa buhay po natin dito sa mundong ito, it is a short span of life. Diba? Whatever level of fulfillment, whatever level of self-satisfaction, whatever level of advancement of your personal material life, diba? Death is waiting at the end. Frustration and adversity are unavoidable. Ito po yung katotohanan. Mafo-frustrate po tayo, and adversity are unavoidable. And answers to the hard questions of life are not withholding. On these terms, Ecclesiastes confronts the crookedness and uncertainty of life and shows, probably unconsciously, the need of a concept of resurrection to bring harmony out of the discord of the reality. Ang reality po sa mundong ito, everything is meaningless. So the lesson we need to ponder on our situation today is to center our life with God. Putting God as the center of our life. Pursue a God-centered life. The message of Ecclesiastes is that the course of life to be pursued is a God-centered life. The pleasure of life are not intrinsically fulfilling and cannot offer lasting satisfaction, but they can be enjoyed as a gift from God. Our life in this world is a gift from God. Enjoy it with God. Life offers good times and bad times, and follow no pattern, diba? But all comes from the hand of God. Lahat po ng bagay manggagaling sa kapay ng Diyos. Excuse me po. Ito po yung kailangan po natin makikita. During and after the pandemic, meron pa tayong mga despairs. Despairs, kasiraan, frustrations. Pero alam po ninyo, pag sinentro po natin yung buhay natin sa ating Panginoon, despite life's trials and despairs, Di ba? We can stand. Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial. For when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life. Alam po ninyo, we can find fulfillment when God is part of our living and working. Despite life's trial, the lesson for this is that we can find fulfillment when God is part of our living and working. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verse 25, sabi doon, for without Him, who can eat and find enjoyment? Diba? For without Him, who can find enjoyment? Who can find fulfillment? Who can find contentment? Who can find lesson of despairs and trials? So we can find fulfillment when God is part of our living and working. Nabubuhay ka or nagtratrabaho ka, makikita po natin yung fulfillment natin. Pagkasama po natin, parte po ng buhay natin ang ating Panginoon. For without Him, who can eat and find fulfillment or enjoyment? Diba? Ito po yung pursue a God-centered life despite your life's trial. Make God as part of our living and working. Despite life's trial, pursuing God-centered life. Diba? Sabi dito, life will at times feel meaningless. Talaga po. May mga punto po ng buhay po natin, mga milestone po natin, na we see life at times feel meaningless. But anong sabi niya? Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 1, but remember your Creator. Sabi po dito, remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come, and the years approach when you say, I find no pleasure in them. Alam po ninyo, lahat ng bagay dito sa mundo, you cannot find pleasure in them. So remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Diba? In the days of your youth. Ako po, ang perspective ko po, yung age 1 to 60 is the lifespan of man in this world. Iyon po yung youthful days po natin. Diba? Si Methuselah, 969, yung age niya, very, very long life. It's eternity life. Pero it came to pass. Natapos din siya. Diba? Mahaba man o maiksi, 60 years or plus man yung buhay po natin, life will at times feel meaningless. But the issue is this: pursue a God-centered life. Despite life's trial, remember your Creator. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1 reminds me of putting my God at the center of my life. Remembering my Creator in the days of my youth. Diba? Tatawa nga kaming mag-asawa. Ilang taon ka na? I'm 43. Sabi ko, I'm 3 years old. Kasi, sabi natin, life begins at 40. Diba? Remembering God in times of our, despite of our life's trial. Diba? Pursuing a God-centered life despite life's trial. Don't exhaust yourself trying to figure life out. Huwag po nating i-exhaust yung life natin. Ano bang kailangan kong gawin upang makontento ako? Ano bang kailangan kong gawin upang matapos ko yung project na to? Ano bang kailangan kong gawin upang maging victorious ako against this pandemic na to? Don't exhaust yourself trying to figure out life. Diba? In Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13, but fear God and keep His commandment. Anong sabi dito? Now all this had been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandment, for this is the duty of all mankind. Ito po yung duty natin of all mankind. Pursue a God-centered life despite life's trial. Our duty is to fear God and keep His commandment. So do not exhaust yourself trying to figure life out. Kasi it's everything is meaningless. Magiging vanity ang buhay po natin if we are trying to exhaust ourselves trying to figure out the meaning of life in this world. Apart from God, we will be exhausted. Apart from God, everything is meaningless. So, sabi ko, ulitin ko, Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13, now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. Without God as our center, life's pleasure and sorrow lead only to disillusionment. Life, pleasure, and sorrow leads only to frustrations and despair. So without God as our center, everything is meaningless. Ito po yung lesson ng pandemyang ito. Pursue a God-centered life. Pagkatapos po ng problemang ito, wala na po yung normal. Ano sabi niya? New normal. New normal. New normal in education, new normal in the workplace, new normal outside our home, new normal inside our home, new normal in every activities under the sun. Okay? That new normal, kailangan naiwan pa rin yung lesson po natin. Anong lesson? Pursue a God-centered life. Ito po kung bakit tayo nag-pause for more than 2 months. Because God encouraging us. God is calling us back to Him to make Him as the center of our life. How much do you seek happiness through the things that won't last? How much do you seek success through the things that won't last? How much do you seek everything in this world, where everything in this world is meaningless? They won't last. Putting God at the center of our living, putting God at the center of our working, putting God at the center of our joys and disappointments. For without God, nothing will satisfy or make sense at all. Alam po ninyo, ang dami po nating natutunan, ang dami po nating experiences to tell, ang dami po nating stories to tell or write in a book that can be read for the generations to come. Sinulat po natin doon, we have stand victorious against this pandemic. And the lesson is, because we put God, we pursue God, a life-centered pursue. Diba? So, my dear brothers and sisters, ito po yung kailangan po nating tingnan. The lesson that we have learned is pursue a God-centered life. Ito po yung lesson ni Ecclesiastes. Ito po yung lesson ni pandemic. Diba? The writer of the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes, pinicture niya yung life niya. Diba? Through grandiose work, through riches, through wisdom and fool, through toil, putting effort and skills. Pero sabi niya, everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too, I see, is meaningless apart from God. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without Him, who can eat or find enjoyment? Alam po natin, mga kapatid, the lesson that we are learning today will be a lesson in our journey to succeed. Kailangan po mag-succeed tayo. Huwag po sanang masayang yung mga sacrifices po. Diba? Be vigilant, keep safe, diba? And pursue a God-centered life. Alam po natin, siguro hindi na tayo babalik sa normal, kundi meron na tayong new normal. Ang new normal na yon is pursuing a God-centered life. Iwasan na po natin. Talikuran na po natin yung old life po natin. Because this is the new normal po ng buhay po natin. God put a lesson to pursue Him every day of our life. May God bless each and every one of us. And congratulations po. We, joining our hands, can be victorious today and tomorrow and forever. Good day, God bless, and mabuhay po tayong lahat.